Because you are an HST subscriber, you are automatically part of our Advantage program, enabling you to score great deals on Persona's gear from Alps Media.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very self-serving, isn't it? Hey, folks, this is Johnny. Welcome to another Home Studio Trainer Live, where today we are going to go through Studio One tips and tricks. Oh, man, almost messed it up. What we're going to be looking at here is a few questions that I've gotten over email for the past week or so. Where does all my stuff go? And I saw somebody post something in the Studio One Studio One Facebook group that I won't say the name of the person that posted it, but yeah, I'm going to call him a complete idiot. Sorry. He said that the way that Studio One saves files in your songs is the worst I've ever seen. All right, obviously he's never used Cubase or Pro Tools. But no, Studio One is actually the best you'll ever see, and I'm going to show you why today. Let's see, we've already got 13 people in here. Harley Bob, Don Oliver, John A.L. Hawk, and Kyle Jedruziak, Tony Cordona, Kevin's Guitar Stories. And as I go up the list, up the ladder, there's Tony Cardona again. Edgar Price is here, and so is Billy Morgan. Actually, Billy Morgan was the first one in here. So very cool. It seems to be Music to Motion's birthday. Oh, is it? Well, happy birthday, Music to Motion. Tony Cardona says, Music to Motion, they say it's your birthday. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. There we go. And that's why I shouldn't sing. All right, so very cool. So if for those of you that are new to the chat, if you have a question or comment that you want read out loud or answered, type at Johnny Geib. Just before it, it will actually, if you're on a computer, it'll actually populate itself. But type at Johnny Geib just before your question so that I see the orange box that actually pops up right next to my name so that I know that you have a question. Now, lately I've been getting pretty good at catching those people who can't follow the rules, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, if you definitely want your question or comment read out loud, you got to do that. If I miss it and you don't type that before it, then sucks to be you, I guess. All right, there you go. Let's see. We've already got 17 people here, and if you would, I really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. We've already got 13 likes, and there you have it, just like that. Now, my iPad just keeps going into sleep mode here, and it really ticking me off. So for those of you that didn't know that is how you get my attention, you guys can just collectively say, there you go. Now you get it. All right, extremely cool. Let's see, 17 people, 13 likes. I think we can actually go to the demo. Hit the button. It's actually not a button, but it turns into a button. Boom. I love that ending. Boom. Very cool. So let's get right to it. And let me go to the classroom. And there I am right there. Yo. All right, so if I go ahead and I open up a song, I'm going to open up the song M-Voice 1 demo. This is the one where I actually got Keela's voice to sing very natural. But we're going to use this as an example as to where all your files go, where all the media goes, and things like that.
When I see you falling down,
just like that. Okay, so now if we actually go to the folder structure, one of the things that we can do is we can actually go to Home. We can right-click on the song we just opened, and we can choose Show in Finder. So if you actually you do this on a PC, it will give you a similar option. It'll say Go to Files or Show in Files. All right, there we go. So here is what's in this folder. So let me do something here really quick here. You can see that this one has a title of that right there. So what we want to do is we want to make sure, I'm going to close this. We want to make sure that this title that we see here, M Voice 1 Demo, sounding more natural or sounding more human, I think is what it's called. Let's see if I do it like that. Yeah, sounding more human. So now let's actually go to the song. And let's go to File, and let's say Rename. So now what this is going to do, we're going to rename it to Voice 1 Demo. Make sure that there's no dates in there. Hold on a second. Something is really, really weird here. Let's see if this works. I don't think it worked, actually. Let's see. Let's go back to here. Right-click, and say Show in Finder. No, it actually didn't do it. Okay, so I did something wrong here. Let's see. So go to Song. Is it under Song? Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a save. Make a little adjustment. I like to do this. I like to see if this actually works. Sometimes it doesn't. Go to File and say Rename. So what this should do is it should rename the folder that the song is in. And it looks like... Looks like it should rename the folder, but it's not doing so. Yeah, that actually isn't working. That's strange. There we go. Let's right-click here, and let's say Show in Finder. And no, it actually did not work. All right, I'm going to have to investigate that. All right, so anyway. Let's go ahead. Let's go with this. Let's go with the song. Let's open it up. And let us look at exactly what files and folders are in there. So, here is the actual folder that it's in. So you can see there are bounces. These are all the bounces that I did to create the audio tracks. You can also see that there is a media folder. This is the only two pieces of media that this song is using. So let's see what happens if I actually go ahead and copy external files. Okay, there are no external files to copy, but it looks like there's a lot more that I need in there. So remove unused files. There we go. And let's go ahead and refresh. Remove unused files. Oh, I clicked no, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. So there are the files. And if we go back here, right-click and say Show in Finder. There we go. So in the media folder, you'll see that there's the guitar wave and the guitar 2. If we actually go to the song, we go to the pool, you can see that that is exactly what's in there. Okay, so getting back to that folder, let's see if I can find it now. What did I do with it? I don't think I minimized it. There it is. I'm going to minimize it now and then go back to Studio One. No, that's not what I want. I want this. There we go. Nope, I'm still not doing it right. Let's shut that back up and go to Studio One and this. Okay, so we can see that we are matching now. What is in the actual folder? You can see that there's 3. Here's the cache, and this usually has more audio takes and bounces and things like that, although we do have bounces up here. And the images, these are the actual waveforms that we see right here, okay, like the peak files. All right, let's close that. So now, what happens if I do a mix down? Let's try that. So let's go ahead and put that down there. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to do a quick save. And we're going to make sure that our loop zone goes to the end of the song. We're going to choose mix down. And let's see, the file name is going to be When I See Mix 1. So now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to make it simple. We're going to have it do a WAV file. And actually, we'll have it do a WAV and an MP3 file. 16-bit 44.1 and the MP3, we're just going to do 44.1 320. There it goes. So now, Studio One is mixing this down into the two file formats. Okay? Now, here's the cool part. If I close this and I go back to this, you can see that a new folder has been added, Mixdowns. Which a lot of people don't realize that as you start to add and do things with your songs, the actual song folder begins to collect all of the data in a single place. Your bounces, your caching, any other versions, like this is one of the remixes that I did. And then you get your media, which is all of the audio files being used. And then you have your mixdowns, which are the mixdowns. There's the MP3 and there's the WAV file. Again, all in a single place, which is important because you really don't want to go and have to find your mixdowns in different places. If you get lost and you're like, I know I did a mixdown of the song, how in the heck do I find it? You go ahead and you go to the start page, you right-click, and you say Show in Finder or Show in Folder. And boom, everything is in there. Just like that. It is really, really easy to do. So now let's say I do something to the song. Let's say I do something to the song and I do another save and another mixdown. So let's go ahead and mute the vocals. When I see you falling. There we go. There we go. So now I'm just going to do a save as. Yep. Clicked on all the wrong buttons. How do you like that? So you see what I did there? I am clicking too fast. Hello to our teacher. Thank you. All right. So like, here's the full version again. See you falling down from the sky. All right, now I want to save this. Now, if I turn this down, I just want an instrumental. And I want to do a save as. And this is going to be M voice, sounding more human. But we're going to replace the sounding more human with instrumental. Bam. Voice 1, instrumental, save. There we go. So now I have a version of an instrumental. And if I go back to the main, I can actually pull up the one where the vocal is there. When I see. But see, my point in doing all that is if I go ahead and I right-click on either one of these, let's right-click on the one that we've been working with, you can see now that the instrumental version is right there. So now the different save as. Now, of course, there is save new version and stuff like that, and I think I've talked to people before about the reasons I don't like, the save new version. So this is actually quite good in order to be able to see the different saves that you do. Now, here's the one that I did with harmonies. I don't know what this one is going to pull up, but let's see. I'm going to double click on that and see what that pulls up. I think this is when I tried to do the harmonies with the Studio One tools. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, see? When I see See, that's cool. But you notice that since it used all of the same stuff in the original version, you can see what it does is it actually packs everything into the same folder. So here are all of the different songs. Now remember, this list here is a list of the songs. This doesn't necessarily go by the folders that are created. It goes by the songs that you've opened. So if you've opened several songs from the same folder, it's going to list them like this. So just be kind of prepared for that. So then you've got bounces, and now we have all of the different versions that we saved using the songs. We have all of the media that was saved from all of the different sounds, bounces, and everything like that. And everything actually sits in the song folder. Everything you need is there. So now if I go ahead and I close this, we go back to the song. Like for this, you've got the pool here. So now for the version, let's see, the instrumental, you've got only the files in this pool that this song is using. This is just the instrumental. So now if you go back to here and you go to the one for sounding more human, there you go. Now you have all of the files. Now don't forget, M-Voice is a plugin, so you're not going to see a file for it in there unless you bounce it.
When I see you falling down.
All right, so now all I have to do is make sure that the M-Voice track has some sort of event in it. Right-click and say Bounce Selection. So now I have a track version of the vocal that is really only M-Voice. Got to turn that down, and you can see it added it to the pool.
When I see you falling down.
Just like that. Makes it really simple. And then you can go back to the pool, and you can see it in there. So now if I go back, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do a save. Just to save that there. And now if I go, where am I going back? I'm going back to here. And if I go here and say open in Finder, if I go to the media folder, you can still see the two guitars. And if I go to the bounces folder, we actually should see, let's see, which is the one that I did today. There it is. There's the one I saved today. And then in this one, here is the bounce that I did just a few minutes ago, 618. Just like that. So you can see that no matter what you do in your song, it's going to update everything into the same folder. And I think that is really important for people to remember. You don't have to go looking all over your computer for all of the parts in the song. If it's not in this folder, then it was a loop or a sample that you used in the song and you forgot to copy the external files into your song. All right, let's see. Tony Cardona says, not to take away from your lesson, but this song needs to be finished, JG. It's so catchy. I have no idea what to do with this, to be honest with you. But, maybe I'll look into doing it. All right, so there you go. So for those that have explicitly said that Studio One's file management is crap, prove me wrong. Show me why it's crap. Because this, to me, is the greatest song filing cabinet out of any DAW that I've ever used. Prove me wrong. Come on, do it in the do a video. Give me a link. Put it in the link to in the description, or not in the description. Put it in the comments to this video and show me why Studio One's file management sucks. It doesn't. It doesn't. It puts all of the sound sets into your My Documents folder, and it puts everything else into the Studio One folder. How crazy easy can it get? So I'm really, really interested in that. What does the little circle in the R signify? So if you open up a song, that's actually good. I actually wanted to show that. So here we go. So the little R here lets you know that it is a recently recorded track and it's live. So if I save it, now if I close it, let me close all of these. And if I then reopen it, oops, I opened up the wrong one. I needed the sounding more human one. Sorry. Sounding more human. You will see that the little R goes away. There, it's gone. And the little R used to be right next to this one here. So it just lets you know that the song, that head sample or that piece that's in the pool is active and is recently placed and done in this open session. Hope that makes sense. So like if I do this, here's the bass. Let me actually let's see, let's go here. Let's unmute everything and let's see, we can actually hide the actual M voice track if we want, because we have a render of it.
When I see
So now if I go ahead and I right click on the bass and I say transform to audio track. There we go. You can see now, look at that. It added the bass track, but it put a little R in there. So now with this, you can see that there are two pieces to this. If I click on the little caret here, it has the audio track and it still has the MIDI data. So now, let's go back, let's save, and close, and reopen. And you can see that it's gone, showing both the audio and the MIDI track.
when I see I can feel
And of course, let's see, Leon over on Wix, he says, well, what if I want that vocal to be mono? Well, it is mono. It just has, it's in a stereo file. So you can simply change the state, click on this, and do a bounce, and now it's a mono file.
when I see you falling down from the sky.
But I like it stereo. So real easy to do. And there you go. You can see that in the pool, it actually gave me a mono file for that voice. Now you want to see something else that's cool? You can actually take this mono file and we can drag it back into the song. There we go. Now we have a mono vocal. I can mute this.
When I see you falling down from the sky.
So you can have it your way and I can have it my way. Really simple. Just like that. The pool is so awesome. Just as far as being able to keep track of the audio that you're using and things that you're converting to. So yes, I will do that again. So now you can see that the little R is there, letting us know that it is a recently recorded track and that the track is essentially kind of live in this. I can go ahead and do a save, and I can close the song. And when I reopen the song, there you go. It's gone because it's been saved and right back where it belongs. There you go. Excellent. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Let me go back up, make sure I didn't miss anything. There's Tony Cardona's special hello to our teacher. And John Clark is here with the hand wave. Thank you for that, John. And as I go down the list, Neil Thompson says, dang, I wish I had been here from the beginning, but I was busy all afternoon on Studio One making my mix sound worse than when I started. Yeah, I know that feeling. And he goes, "Oh, I'll have to watch the replay later." That's all right. The replay will go up, and remember that the chats do not appear in the replay for sometimes up to 24 hours. So if you go right in there and you're like, well, where's the link that you talked about in the chat? The chat's not there. So there you go. Johnny Lipsham is here. He says everyone should take a deep dive into the pool. Yes, all the kids in the pool. So let's see. So Tony Cardona says, now he says, so which file would you use in the final mix, the mono or stereo? Yes. Whichever sounds good. It doesn't matter because they both sound the same. Unless you have stereo effects on it when you bounced it, then your effects will be mono, or the effects here will be stereo. So it really depends on what you have on it for what sounds good. I always leave. I never do a bounce to, or I very rarely do a bounce to a mono single waveform just for the sake of having it all match. I rarely do that. But just remember, if you have any printed effects and you take a stereo performance or a stereo track and you make it mono, those effects are going to be mono if they are on the inserts. So let's see if I had any effects on there.
When I see you falling down from the sky.
Oh, I did have effects on there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, let me see if I can find my undo history. I don't have any history. I guess I saved it. Yep, I must have saved it because now all my undo history is gone. So now, yeah. Now I am stuck with these, but the good news is I can remove both of these renders because if you guys remember, I took the original M voice track and I hid it. There it is.
When I see you falling down. When I see you falling down from the sky.
So now what I can do is if I want a mono audio version of the vocals, so what I can do is I can go to the M voice track and I can turn off all of the inserts. And then I can go ahead and right click and say bounce selection. And there we go. Now it made me a stereo vocal track. Turn down the M voice, the actual M voice, and hide it.
When I see you falling down.
There you go, just like that. And I can now make it mono and go ahead and do a bounce. Blink. Beautiful. So now here in the pool, I have everything I need. Everything from a vocal with effects to a vocal dry with just a single waveform. Tony Cardona says, good answer. Yes. All right, so which file would you use? Okay, that's good. Secret Squirrel for Secret Studios. Johnny Lipsham says, good evening. I've recently heard lots of talk about Notion, as I typically work on multiple things while listening in, but I didn't realize it was for iPad. Any differences? Let's see if Johnny answered that. So let's see, Neil Thompson says to Johnny Lipsham, nice one, and yes, that's a good idea for a future show. I must have missed the Johnny Lipsham comment. Let's see. Johnny Lipsham is answering Secret Squirrel. He says, Notion Mobile has some of the sample layers removed to save on space on a mobile device. But it's just a cross-platform app, and it's free. All right, so let's go on. They're talking about Notion, something I do not use, and I think we are good at that point. Kyle Ruziak says, please just don't pee in the pool. Yes, everybody in the pool, just keep the bodily fluids to yourself. All right, there you go. And that's a pretty quick lesson on the file structure. So I think it is important that people realize that when you're actually dealing with a song in Studio One, everything goes into the same place. Whether you're dealing with templates or you're dealing with whether you're dealing with templates and adding tracks to templates, they're still going to go in the song that template is using, that the tracks that are using that template. All of your bounces, all of your mix downs, all of your renders, if you're using Melodyne, all of that stuff goes into the same folder. So again, to those who feel that Studio One's folder structure stinks, how? I don't see any place right now where it stinks. Show me. Show me. The only thing that it doesn't store is MIDI files, although you can put them in there if you want to, but it doesn't store MIDI files because the MIDI files are embedded into the song itself. So what do you guys think? I don't think you can just move a MIDI file into the pool. Oh, maybe you can. Oh, no, you can't. That's all right. We don't need to do that because the MIDI file's right there. And, of course, in this case, it's our drums. Now, if I was to actually go ahead and render these drums, let's go ahead and right-click, and we'll do our transform to audio. Make sure all our boxes are checked, and there we go. There's our drums. And if you look up here, there are our drums. Let's see, what is this labeled here? Easy 1. Did our drums end up in here? Yes, our Easy Drummer drums. And there we go. There's the audio version, and there's the MIDI version, each of which we can drag back into the song if we want to. Really simple. Really, really simple. We do not see the screen. Oh, I didn't go back to, there we go. Sorry. Classroom! So I am going to undo what I did here. There we go. So now there we go. So if I was to right click and do a transform to audio, you can see that once I do that, in the pool, it makes the audio track and it makes the MIDI track. And now you have both, and you can drag them into the song for whatever you want. So doing doing a transform to audio is actually quite good. As Martin Weeks used to say, classroom! So it makes it really convenient. So, even if you really don't want to transform, the drums back to audio, you can do so and then just just to keep the files in the pool. So let's actually go out of this, and we're not going to save. We're going to have it erase all those files. And now we're going to go back. There we go. So we're back here.
When I see you falling down from the sky.
There we go. So here is our drum track. So if you would like to have a copy of audio but still use the MIDI, All you have to do is you look in the pool. There's nothing in here. All you have to do is right-click and say Transform to Audio. And now, in the pool, you have a MIDI drum track as well as a 2-channel audio track for your drums. But if for whatever reason you really didn't want to do that, if you just wanted to save it there, then you could actually just get rid of the drums and do what you want there. So let's see, we could, what could we do to do this? We could drag this. No, that's not going to work. Let me actually close the mixer and drag this down to here. Nope, that didn't work. I wanted to see if I could separate this. Oh, sure I can. So all I can see, can I just do an undo? There we go. So now I am back to the virtual instrument, but I still have the copies of each of the tracks.
When I see you falling down.
Really easy. All right, so let's see. I got a few more minutes here. Let's see. What do we got here? Secret Squirrel talking to Tony. Tony talking to Secret Squirrel. Secret Squirrel talking to me. Tony Cardona. Tony Cardona. And none of the voices had me thinking that I was hearing a real sample. For the first few seconds of listening before when Johnny Gibe said that it was M voice. Yes. Yes, Secret Squirrel, it is. It is the M voice track with all of the new editing.
When I see you falling down from the sky.
So we can do dips and raises as well as vibrato now. Neil Thompson says, oh wow, undo does not work, does not alter the pool. No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. All right. Very cool. And there you have it. The folder structure and the way Studio One saves your audio and saves your song. I think it's important that people know that Studio One keeps everything in a simple place for each song. Each titled song gets a folder, and in each folder, those folders contain all of the pieces from bounces to renders, to what else am I looking for here? To the cache files, to the images, to your audio files in the same folder. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah, I got to cut it a little short today. I have to work early tonight. So I hope you guys got something from all this. And remember, the chat will only show up, will sometimes show up about 24 hours after the fact. So please be patient if you're looking for information from the chat. Go ahead and do that. Just be patient and wait, and it'll eventually show up. All right, folks, that's going to be it for me. These are going to be my last few words. Later.
Is Studio One filled with mysteries in your mind? Well, we can help unlock those mysteries on Saturday nights at midnight. Join us for the HST Home Studio Trainer Midnight Live Stream as we investigate and solve as many mysteries as possible. HST Home Studio Trainer, helping each other make music together.